Greetings and welcome to WANA Live, a special edition of the reading series of the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia. I'm your host, Damian Dressick, and we have a special guest host.
I am Jody DePerna, and I'm filling in for Christina Fisanick this week, which is, those are some big shoes to fill, but I'll do my best.
All right. And why are you filling in for Christina?
Well, amazingly enough, we have this incredible guest this week, and it is Christina Fisanick.
You're right. It is Christina Fisanick.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard she's a writer and a professor whose work centers on the stories and voices of Northern Appalachia. She's a native of West Virginia. She teaches writing at Pennsylvania Western University and is an internationally known expert in digital storytelling. Her creative work often explores themes of labor, resilience, and identity in working class communities. Fisanick is a founding member and the current president of the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia. And most of the time, she's the co-host of WANA Live. She's the author or editor of more than 30 books, including one that she's going to tell us a bit about tonight, Pulling the Thread, Untangling Wheeling History. And her short work has appeared in Still, the Journal of Appalachian Studies in Pine Mountain, Sand, and Gravel. I think we ought to bring her out here. What do you think?
Oh, let's get her out here.
Get her out here.
This is weird. This is weird. I was thinking about this. The very first episode we ever did of WANA Live, which was in March of 2020, I was the reader that night because I was the guinea pig. And tonight I'm glad to be back and be a little less guinea piggish.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Anyways, thank you, Jody, for being the co-host tonight. And one of the reasons that we asked Jody to come on, other than the fact that she's also very cool, is because she was our program chair for the conference. And when I come back after the reading, we'll have a chat about what that program looks like. Because
wait, Christina, there's a conference. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we're just a week away from the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia's conference to be held here in Wheeling. So are you ready for me to talk about my subject tonight?
I am. Are you?
Yes. All right. I'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
So hello, everybody. And thank you so much for tuning in on this very different episode. I feel like it's one of those like episodes of Different Strokes. Now for a special episode of Different Strokes. Anyways, but I want to talk a little bit about my book. Pulling the Thread, Untangling Wheeling History. It's a collection of essays about Wheeling, West Virginia. And if you know me at all, if you've ever tuned in, you know that I am pro rah Wheeling, maybe sometimes to my own detriment. But years ago, someone asked me if I'd be willing to write for a community publication about Wheeling history. And I said yes. And I knew immediately what I wanted to focus on. And that is the subject of Rebecca Harding Davis. And this is germane to tonight, but also to the conference. So this, and I'll tell you about that in a second. So this collection, there are, I think, 5 sections, and there's sections on all kinds of things that has to do with Wheeling history. There's a section on Ogilvie Park, and some of you, even if you have only been to Wheeling once, you might have been here for Ogilvie Park because of the Festival of Lights, but there are sections in here too on different things like Mark Twain's visit to Wheeling and kind of personal essays. And one of the things that I really like to do, and that's important to me as a writer, is to make connections, connect the dots and pull that thread until you keep pulling and pulling and pulling like a magician to see where you end up. And that's what I really love to do. And so my first essay that I ever wrote about Wheeling history after I moved back here from being gone from the Ohio Valley for 12 years was about this woman, Rebecca Harding Davis. And I've actually portrayed her before too, which is so fun and really difficult to maintain those like bizarre like curls when it's humid. Just trust me on that. Anyway, so Rebecca Harding Davis, if you haven't heard of her, for shame, because she's a very, very important writer. She is from Wheeling, and also the Washington, PA people claim her too, because she lived there for a while. She was actually born in Washington, PA in the David Bradford House, and she graduated from Washington Seminary, but she spent a lot of her time living here in Wheeling. And she's very important because she is the founder of American literary realism. Now, other writers are giving credit for that founding. But when you look at the evidence, which is easy to find, her book, Life in the Iron Mills, which was based here in Wheeling, in like the late 1850s. It's obvious. It came out 20 years before anything else, even by William Dean House, who was born right across the river in Martins Ferry, Ohio, which is also the home to the awesome poet James Wright. Anyway, so why is she important? I mean, American literary realism, yes, but also Life in the Iron Mills was really, really important as a text. What she did in that novella was talk about what it was like when she looked out her window here in Wheeling and watched the people moving to and from the factories, and how this town changed in this very short period of time during the Second Industrial Revolution. And so this town of Wheeling went from a bucolic place where the only time they ever got news was when the stagecoaches came through town, maybe every 2 weeks, to this bustling, smelly, polluted place where people were coming in on Conestoga wagons from all over the East Coast trying to go west. And Wheeling was the gateway to the West at that time. And it was really quite a remarkable change. And she captured that in her prose. Her work, Life in the Iron Mills, was published in the Atlantic in 1861 in serialized form, and it was instantly a huge success. It propelled her. She was known somewhat for her writing, but it propelled her forward so that she met the greats of literature at that time, like Nathaniel Hawthorne and all these other people. Emily Dickinson read Life in the Iron Mills and talked about it. I mean, this piece, this novella, the serialized form, was absolutely essential for people not just to understand like what was happening in mill towns, but also to have empathy for the people who were working in these really difficult conditions. People were, of course, if you know anything about labor rights and the history of mill work, people were dying by scores in the mines and in the mills during this time period, and we didn't have any records. They deliberately didn't keep records. So we don't know really how many lives were lost, but also they were being paid terrible wages. There was a lot of child labor, and she really captured that in the novella. We would have lost this novella to time if it wasn't for Tilly Olson. She was in a junk store in Oklahoma looking through some old periodicals and happened to find the issues of the Atlantic with the story in it, and immediately knew, we have to learn about this. We have to know about this. And this is like 1970. 1972, the Feminist Press reissued Life in the Iron Mills with some front matter from Tilly Olson. And you might know her as the author of I Stand Here Ironing and some other amazing works. But she brought this work back to light and back to life for us. When Rebecca Harding Davis died, I think it was in 1910, she had written over 500 works, but she was largely unknown because her son eclipsed her in his writing career. He was a journalist. And so I want to take just a second to read to you a very short passage from Life in the Iron Mills, and then I'll go back and talk to Jody and Damien, because you'll probably be tired of hearing me by then. Those of you who know me also know that I'm on sabbatical, but it turns out that you can take the teacher out of the classroom, but you can't take the classroom out of the teacher, whatever that means. I don't know. Anyway, so this is just the first 2 paragraphs from Life in the Iron Mills, and I will be talking about this at the conference, because for me, every time we have a conference, I try to focus on a writer from Northern Appalachia from the past. The last time we had a conference, it was a virtual conference. We focused on James Wright, and this time, Rebecca Harding Davis is the focus. A cloudy day. Do you know what that is in a town of ironworks? The sky sank down before dawn, muddy, flat, immovable. The air is thick, clammy with the breath of crowded human beings. It stifles me. I open the window and, looking out, can scarcely see through the rain the grocer's shop opposite, where a crowd of drunken Irishmen are puffing Lynchburg tobacco in their pipes. I can detect the scent through all the foul smells ranging loose in the air. The idiosyncrasy of this town is smoke. It rolls suddenly in slow folds from the great chimneys of the iron foundries and settles down in black, slimy pools on the muddy streets. Smoke on the wharves, smoke on the dinghy boats, on the Yellow River, clinging in a coating of greasy soot To the house front, the two faded poplars, the faces of the passers-by, the long train of mules dragging masses of pig iron through the narrow street have a foul vapor hanging to their reeking sides. Here, inside, is a little broken figure of an angel pointing upward from the mantel shelf, but even its wings are covered with smoke, clotted and black. Smoke everywhere. A dirty canary chirps desolately in a cage beside me. Its dream of green fields and sunshine is a very old dream, almost worn out, I think. And then later she asked us to come with her down into the iron mills to see the conditions that people were living. If you have not read this work, please do that. It is honestly worth your time, and it will give you an idea, one, of how similar things are still to today in terms of pollution and workers' rights and safety, but also just how groundbreaking Rebecca Harding Davis from Wheeling, West Virginia was. So I'm going back to Jody and Damien. Hello.
Hi.
That was my commercial for Rebecca Harding Davis.
So I should say that if somebody hasn't read this, they should, because it's also really short. So you don't have to be afraid of length. You're not like, it's not the doll maker. You're not in for 700 pages. You can read this. But I didn't know this work, Christina, until you told me about it. And I am very much a, labor kid from Western Pennsylvania. So I was kind of ashamed I didn't know it, but I didn't know it. And so, but I love that the language of it is lovely, that she talks about the idiosyncrasy of this place's smoke. That's just such an amazing turn of phrase to me. And it puts me right in the place. So I think she does that really, really well in terms of taking the reader by the hand and saying, I'm going to put you sort of next to me, which is something I always try to do as a writer and somebody who's writing other people's stories, is like, I want you to stand right next to me while we watch this thing together. And I think that's kind of what she does so well.
Yeah, I mean, you can smell this. You can see it. You can feel like the weight of this smoke. And those of us who are of a certain age remember when our valleys were still filled with smoke and the houses were black from soot. I mean, I can remember that. And so, I obviously love her deeply.
So where is it, Christina, that you're going to be talking about Rebecca?
Yeah.
So we've got a conference coming up Friday, September 19th, and Saturday, September 20th in Wheeling, West Virginia.
Yeah, people are going to, if they wanted to see you talk about, what building might they go to?
We will be in the incredible historic Scottish Rite Cathedral in Wheeling. It's 80,000 square feet. We have the building to ourselves. And so we're going to rock that place. We open Friday night with the Women of Appalachia, followed by an open mic. And then we have...
So people can bring some of their own work and share it after the Women of Appalachia read?
Yes, and we hope people will. We're hoping that Friday night is a sharing of maybe some voices that we haven't heard before.
That sounds pretty cool. Is this expensive?
I don't think it's expensive. If you only come Friday night, it's $5, and that money goes directly to the Women of Appalachia. But if you come for the conference, the rates are on our website, and there are different options that you can choose. So go to the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia.org.
All right. So I want to just sort of throw this out because it's important to me as somebody who teaches and also somebody who grew up working class. We have a special student rate of $25. So if you're a student, if you're interested in writing, if you're interested in the literature, and you see some of these conferences, I'd love to go to AWP, but I don't want to sell a kidney. I want to go to ASA, but I can't get the whole way to Tennessee. This is a chance to see a really terrific conference with pretty seriously top shelf folks giving readings, giving presentations, doing generative workshops for like the price of like 6 lattes. I think I don't drink lattes, but I think six lattes. And you only have to go to Wheeling, West Virginia. So if you're at Pitt, if you're at Duquesne, if you're at Chatham, if you're at Carlow, if you're at Penn West, if you're at Slippery Rock, this is a really good opportunity. If you're at Washington and Jeff, if you're a professor who's watching this at these schools, please tell your students $25 gets them the whole day.
Both days.
Both days, yes.
So
They don't have to kick in the $5.
Jody is is our program chair, and you and your team of people, volunteers, who worked very hard on going through the great quality of presentations, abstracts that were submitted for the proposal. Can you talk a little bit about what people will see on Saturday?
Yeah, we had a really robust response. So we had a lot of work to do to choose what we thought would be the best fit, and we had to sort of put some people together. So because we just had so many that we didn't want to turn away. Some of them I'm really there's I feel like there's something for everybody wherever they are in their writing. If you are new to writing and you want to just do some like craft workshops, we have those. If you're new to writing and you want to sort of learn more about publishing and publicity, we have those. We have people talking about very specific things like building a Northern Appalachian canon of literature, which is something that I know that the three of us are really interested in, and it would start with Rebecca Harding Davis. But I would have a lot of input on that front. I would be bringing all the Pittsburgh writers with me. We have one of my favorite writers is Kelly Shin, who is coming with, and she's talking about adoption and the baby scoop era in Northern Appalachia, which I think is, I don't know anything about it, but the abstract was fantastic, and I was like, I want to know more. Bonnie Proudfoot, who's another beautiful writer. And every time I drive past Goshen Road when I'm driving through West Virginia, I think of Bonnie. So I think we've got
some pictures.
Yeah, I know. I thought about slowing down to get a picture, but so I think we've got this amazing stuff. If you want to do workshops, you can do workshops. If you just want to be part of a panel discussion, we've got that. You should be able to fill your day, and I think that you will have hard choices. There might be 2 or 3 things going on at the same time that you want to do, and you'll have to make those decisions.
Yes, and I do want to say, sorry, Jody, or Damien, but we added 2 panels at the last minute because we had people that had sudden conflicts, and one of them is Justice Hudson, who is the founder of Wheeling Free Press, and he'll be talking about what it's like to start and operate a free press, like a local, grassroots publication. And then the other presenter that we added late is Halsey Heyer, and she'll be talking about murder ballads. And I know,
nice,
love that genre, and we're excited. Yeah. I mean, we're excited for everyone, but those are a couple of late presentations that we added.
Yeah, I mean, if you started a press, started, the Pittsburgh Institute for Nonprofit Journalism, I'll be interested to hear Justice's take. It's an incredible amount of work. It is so hard.
And he's mostly a one-man show.
Yeah.
We also have, if you're interested in what's being published presently in the region, the Journal of Appalachian Lit is having a reading. We've got Bonnie Proudfoot as part of that. Halsey Heyer is part of that. Michael Dittman is part of that. And Laura Jackson from West Virginia, nature writer, is going to be reading as well. So we've got 4 really terrific regional writers. And I think we might have saved probably I think, Jody, you're the journalist among us. Do they call this burying the lead?
We buried the lead. We did.
We buried the lead. We are blessed. We're super fortunate. We have got as our keynote speaker the one, the only, Pittsburgh's Jan Beatty.
She's a rock star. There are not many poets that can say that, but she actually is a rock star.
I can't wait. I've never been to a reading of hers that I wasn't on the edge of my seat. So
yeah, she's fantastic.
Yeah, I can't wait. And she will have books with her to sign, and I know she'll talk with you a little afterwards, but she's going to be giving her keynote in the Scottish Rites Theater, which is an Egyptian themed theater that will blow you away. I mean, just being in that space. Also in that room. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible.
Costume dress for this though.
Oh, I know, right? Be fancy.
Right.
And also in that room, before Jan goes on stage, we have the incredible musical duo Jeff Berman and Sue Powers, who are from Appalachia and also from Devilish Mary. And if you don't know them, you will want to follow them around after that. And I follow Sue on social media, and they are so active. They're incredible. I've heard them perform at least 6 times, and they will blow you away. amazing and great friends, by the way, of the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia. So come out and see us next week. It's going to be a blast. We also have a couple of, custom cocktails. One of them includes pawpaw, the native fruit of Northern Appalachia. And we're just excited to get together. In times like these, I think we need to have something to look forward to, and being with other writers is something to look forward to.
That's not interested in pawpaw. Some of the drinks just have whiskey.
That's true.
Well, I mean, but the pawpaw's nice. But I always feel better when I'm sort of in community with writers. These are difficult days, and it kind of keeps me going.
Yes. Well, and I will add before we go that when we kick off our open mic, Damien and I will be hosting it as the WANA Live people. Our first speaker will be Amy Jo Hutchinson. If you don't know Amy Jo, you'll want to know her afterwards. She is an absolute force. She has testified in front of Congress about what it's like to be working poor, and she will be talking about a surprise thing. She told me it's a surprise, and I can't wait. She will fire us all up. There will be live music Friday night also, especially from the Women of Appalachia. It will be a party, and everybody will have a good time. I can guarantee that.
All right. So we're looking forward to seeing y'all next week in Wheeling, West Virginia.
Come join us in Wheeling. It's an easy drive.
What time do the festivities kick off?
Doors open Friday night. They open Friday night at 6 p.m. And then the Women of Appalachia take the stage at 7. Our vendors will be set up and vending on Friday night. So if you want to come and learn about different MFA programs in the region and check out some indie lit sellers, they will be there, but there will also be some fabulous local businesses, artists, candle sellers, all kinds of different people that I think that our audience will really like to get to know.
There will also be publishers. Well, they're not.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yes.
So, if you want to see like, hey, what are local publishers putting out? What kind of offerings do they have? Maybe talk to some folks. Those are also going to be there if you're a writer.
Yeah, Last Pick Books and Crisis Chronicles Press, and I think 2 other presses will be there as well. And Bottom Dog Press, of course. So we're all looking forward to getting together. And even if you don't know any of us, we will not let you feel left out. I consider this a big family reunion. So come and join us. You're always welcome.
See y'all, and thank you so much, Jody, for making time to come on the show and be such a wonderful co-host.
It's been a blast, Amy. I feel like you missed your calling. You should be in like Crazy Eddie's commercials. You're really good at that kind of thing.
This conference is going to be
insane.
Oh, wait, there's more. All right. See you all next week when we have Pat Lindsay on the show.
All right.
See you in Wheeling.